Yes, I have apologized to people who feel that I said something racist, but that was never my intention.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be looking at famous people who attempted a career comeback and failed. Some may still be working in their respective fields, but are no longer as popular as they once were.
I think, when people listen to the album, they'll understand, the travels that I've been through it.
Number 30, Warren Beatty. From Bonnie and Clyde to Reds, Warren Beatty was among Hollywood's most prominent names. Even following the disastrous bomb Ishtar, he rebounded with Dick Tracy and Bugsy.
Geez, Ben, the way you spend money, you never have anything left.
So, I'll make more. It's only dirty paper.
After Town and Country set a new standard for flops, though, Beatty retreated from the limelight for 15 years. Beatty returned with Rules Don't Apply, which he directed, wrote, produced, and starred in as Howard Hughes. It was clear this would either be a legendary comeback or failed Oscar bait. It was the latter, not only receiving 0 Oscar nominations, but barely grossing a sixth of its $25 million budget.
Hey, I'm gonna get busy on the screen test.
Beatty still appeared at that year's Oscars to present Best Picture. Of course, that was the year of Envelope Gate, which is sadly where most modern audiences know Beatty from. Number 29, Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes' success seemed bound to follow her into adulthood.
Sweetheart, be a good little girl and run to the gas station and fill this up with gas.
You want me to walk 53 miles?
No, run!
Then suddenly in 2010, she announced her retirement from acting. Over the following decade and a half, Bynes made headlines for run-ins with the law, substance use, mental health struggles, troubling tweets, and a temporary conservatorship. Bynes occasionally teased a comeback. In 2018, she expressed her desire to revisit acting, although her filmography remained inactive. 2023 set the stage for another potential comeback, with Bynes to appear at 90s Con, but she missed the All That panel. That same year, Bynes co-hosted a podcast with Paul Szymanski, although she walked away after an episode.
Hi everyone, welcome to Amanda Bynes and Paul Szymanski, the podcast. Today we are welcoming Dahlia Moth on our show.
Bynes has seemingly left showbiz for good, now focusing on being a manicurist. Number 28, Nia Vardalos. The definition of a sleeper hit, My Big Fat Greek Wedding grossed over $300 million on a $5 million budget.
Yeah, I was swept off my feet by your very cool opening line of hi.
The rom-com catapulted star and writer Nia Vardalos into stardom, although the honeymoon couldn't last forever. Over the following years, Vardalos took center stage in a short-lived sitcom based on her Oscar-nominated film, as well as the box office flop Connie and Carla. Vardalos wouldn't lead another movie until 2009 with My Life in Ruins and I Hate Valentine's Day, neither of which found success. In recent years, Vardalos tried capturing lightning in a bottle again with 2 My Big Fat Greek Wedding sequels.
Oh,
Jesus.
see that?
Neither could make even half of what the 2002 blockbuster grossed, while even Windex couldn't expunge the poor reviews. Number 27, Justin Timberlake. Although Britney Spears had her fair share of failed comebacks, fans have passionately rallied behind her over the past few years. Ironically, around the same time that Spears' career rebounded, Justin Timberlake started to flounder.
So if I get jealous, I can't help it.
Even before Spears opened up about their relationship in her memoir, Timberlake's newer music wasn't having the staying power as his earlier output. Most people had forgotten about Man of the Woods by the time Timberlake released his comeback album, Everything I Thought It Was, which received a middling response at best.
Pilot on auto. There ain't no angels here on the dance floor.
Timberlake hit a new low shortly after being pulled over and arrested by a cop who reportedly didn't recognize him. It seemed like the definitive sign that maybe Timberlake wasn't as relevant as he was in the aughts. Number 26, Katy Perry. The 2010s were a roaring success for this pop star, although Left Shark might have been the peak. Katy Perry kicked off the 2020s with Smile, her first studio album in 3 years. Amid its mixed reception, Perry focused on raising her daughter and other ventures over the next few years. The 2024 album 143 seemed poised to launch Perry back onto the music scene like a firework. It wound up being the biggest critical and commercial failure of her career. It didn't help that one of the album's producers was Dr. Luke, whose history of sexual misconduct allegations had returned to the public consciousness. The album itself was so dated and cliché that some question if AI made it. No, it was just bad. Number 25. Veronica Lake. Through films like Sullivan's Travels and I Married a Witch, audiences fell in love with this golden age starlet, even if collaborators found her difficult.
Nice meeting you.
Oh. Would you like to leave now?
Veronica Lake became instantly recognizable thanks to her iconic hairstyle, which she changed in the hour before the dawn. Lake suffered a tragic accident on that set, resulting in the loss of her baby. Shortly after, Lake endured a divorce and increased substance use. Meanwhile, her filmography throughout the remainder of the 40s proved hit and miss. Lake filed for bankruptcy in 1951, the same year she released Stronghold. That would be her last movie until 1966's Footsteps in the Snow, which sadly wasn't a comeback, not even seeing a US release. It'd be Lake's penultimate film.
Are you bitter about the way your career went?
You've got to be joking.
No, I'm not.
No.
You're not?
No.
Would you rather have done your life a different way if you had it?
No.
No.
Wouldn't exchange it for anything in the world.
Number 24. Edward Furlong. Hitting the ground running with Terminator 2, Edward Furlong's future on the big screen appeared bright.
You're not here to kill me. I figured that part out for myself. So what's the deal?
My mission is to protect you.
Furlong saw further acclaim in films like American Heart and American History X. On the road to adulthood, though, Furlong unfortunately fell into the same traps as other former child stars. Despite substance issues, legal troubles, and career setbacks, Furlong's fans remained hopeful that a comeback was on the horizon. Furlong seemingly got his chance when news broke he'd be reprising his role as John Connor in Terminator Dark Fate.
That future never happened, because I stopped it. To protect my son.
It was a huge letdown when the film merely used Furlong's facial likeness, killing John off in the opening scene. It wasn't a comeback for Furlong nor the franchise, with Dark Fate being another box office dud. Number 23. Kevin Spacey. Accused of sexual misconduct in 2017, this Oscar-winning actor was fired from House of Cards while his scenes for All the Money in the World were reshot with Christopher Plummer.
Everything has a price. The great struggle in life is coming to grips with what that price is.
Although Kevin Spacey weathered through his court cases, the public made it clear that they weren't interested in a comeback. That hasn't stopped him from trying. The first cringy attempt was a 2018 Christmas Eve YouTube video reprising his Frank Underwood role. This became something of an annual tradition, like it or not. Spacey found work in films like Once Upon a Time in Croatia and Peter 5'8", which we doubt you've heard of. Even after he controversially accepted an award at Cannes in 2025, many feel like Spacey's comeback is all in his head.
I accept my accountability. I think it's incredibly important. I am not going to be accountable for things I didn't do or that were exaggerated or greatly changed, but I absolutely believe that my role in it was my role in it.
Number 22. Ezra Miller. Hollywood is somehow the most forgiving and unforgiving industry. Leading up to the release of 2023's The Flash, star Ezra Miller had left behind a trail of scandals that ranged from disturbing to just bizarre.
Oh my God! Flash!
Hi.
I love you!
Thank you. You seem very nice also.
Oh my God!
Regardless, if The Flash proved to be the summer blockbuster that Warner Brothers was hoping for, Miller's slate likely would have been wiped clean. While people knew Miller's erratic behavior off-screen and a growing superhero fatigue might hurt the film, few could imagine just how horrendously The Flash would crash and burn at the box office. Although Miller alone couldn't be blamed for the financial failure, it provided the extra incentive for Hollywood to cut the actor loose.
There might not be a future if you don't come with me right now.
Miller was recast in other projects, with their acting output significantly slowing down. Number 21, Bill Cosby. Many felt society had taken the ultimate step backward in 2021 when disgraced comedian Bill Cosby was prematurely released from prison, having only served about 3 years.
Now a free man, Bill Cosby didn't stay long at his Pennsylvania home, leaving today to reunite with his wife.
He would spend the next months with her. They haven't seen each other in almost 3 years.
While the Pennsylvania Supreme Court had overturned Bill Cosby's conviction, that doesn't mean all was forgiven. In late 2022, word got out that Cosby was eyeing a return to stand-up, planning a comeback for the following year. People were aghast to realize this wasn't a parody headline, although Cosby's 2023 tour never materialized. Another year passed with no major career announcements from Cosby. Who knows what the future holds, but we think we can safely say that a Leonard Part 6 remake starring Kevin Hart has a better shot at happening than a Cosby comeback.
Well, why not, damn it?
I have my reasons.
Number 20, Ray J. This rapper hit his peak in the mid-2000s. His fourth studio album, All I Feel, reached number 7 on the Billboard 200 chart, and its lead single, Sexy Can I, reached number 3 and went platinum.
Sexy can I, just pardon my manners.
Every one of his subsequent singles have failed to chart on the Hot 100, with the exception of I Hit It First, which reached number 51 in 2013. The song makes reference to the adult film Kim Kardashian Superstar, featuring his ex and himself, and released in March of 2007.
I hop in the club and bop a show love, and I don't even put in work.
The 2010s has seen Ray J hosting Oxygen's Bad Girls All-Star Battle and competing on both My Kitchen Rules and Celebrity Big Brother. The latter stint only lasted a week as he left the show after blacking out from tooth pain.
I'm done with Vegas. I hate Vegas. Never again.
Number 19, Dustin Diamond. Many child actors flounder after their big show has ended, and Dustin Diamond is one of them. Diamond famously played Screech on Saved by the Bell, which ran while Diamond was entering his teenage years.
We are going to play a piece by Johann Sebastian Bach.
A piece? Why can't we play the whole thing?
He later reprised the role for The New Class, which ran until 2000 when Diamond was 23. And that was about it for him. He went on to direct an adult film titled Screeched, Saved by the Smell, and released a behind-the-scenes book called Behind the Bell, which was fiercely criticized and rejected by his co-stars.
Looking back now, in my 30s, I realized that was really dumb.
He attempted a comeback in 2013 by competing on Celebrity Big Brother, but a 2014 arrest and 4-month prison sentence pretty much ended his career before he died in 2021.
So I want to put the tomfoolery and malarkey behind me. It's time for that clean slate.
Number 18, Denise Richards. This ex-fashion model was quite a big name in the late 90s and early 2000s. She starred in the likes of Starship Troopers and The World Is Not Enough before marrying Charlie Sheen.
Are you here for a reason? Or are you just hoping for a glimmer?
They were married from 2002 to 2006, and their messy divorce kept Richards in the spotlight. Despite some valiant efforts, Richards hasn't been able to reclaim her past glory. She has starred in many B-movies and a few short-lived TV shows, and for several years, she acted in the soap opera The Bold and the Beautiful.
No wonder he was looking for something better. The hell is wrong with you?
Like many attempting a comeback, she's also transitioned into reality TV, joining the main cast of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
I've never experienced this with you.
Number 17, Ciara. This R&B artist was huge throughout the 2000s and early 2010s, with 4 of her first 5 albums peaking in the top 5. Her second, Ciara The Evolution, reached number 1 in 2006. Her singles also performed well. Goodies peaked at number 1 in 2004, and both 1-2 Step and O reached number 2. Following Love, Sex, Magic in 2009, none of her singles have breached the top 10. She's remained in the spotlight thanks to public relationships with rapper Future and NFL player Russell Wilson, but her music career isn't what it once was. Her last 2 albums, Jackie and Beauty Marks, reached number 17 and number 87 respectively on the Billboard 200.
Okay, I've got to change something up here.
Number 16, Misha Barton. Entertainment Weekly named Misha Barton the It Girl of 2003, owing to her work as Marissa Cooper on The O.C. The show ran for 4 seasons between 2003 and 2007. Barton starred in the first 3 before her character was killed off in the 3rd season finale.
Ryan, look out!
Ever since then, Barton has struggled to retain her It Girl status. She's appeared in many independent films and competed on Dancing with the Stars in 2016.
It's Potter time!
However, she was just the 2nd person eliminated. She too eventually went the reality TV route and joined the cast of The Hills: New Beginnings in 2019.
So I thought, okay, I'll take this seriously now and think about it.
Number 15, Iggy Azalea. This Australian singer burst onto the scene in history-making fashion, literally. She became just the 2nd artist in history to hold the top 2 spots on the Billboard Hot 100 with their debut entries on the chart in 2014. The Beatles did it in 1964 with I Wanna Hold Your Hand and She Loves You, and Azalea poetically matched it 50 years later with Fancy and Problem.
In no time I'll be forgetting all about you.
She was a guest artist on the latter, but the record still counted. Unfortunately, her star has since fallen from grace. In My Defense reached number 50, a far cry from the new classic's peak at number 3. Her last single to peak in the top 5 was Black Widow in 2014, with none of the singles from In My Defense even breaching the top 50.
Like it'll last forever, but now forever ain't as long.
Number 14, Sharon Stone. The 90s belonged to Sharon Stone. She received 1 Academy Award and 4 Golden Globe nominations for Basic Instinct, Casino, The Mighty, and The Muse. Her role as Ginger in Casino was particularly acclaimed, as it won her the Golden Globe and earned Stone her only Oscar nomination. Basic Instinct also made her a national sex symbol, and by 1995, Stone had a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
If I was guilty and I wanted to beat that machine, it wouldn't be hard.
Unfortunately, a string of disappointments followed in the 2000s, including Catwoman and the embarrassing Basic Instinct 2, which essentially killed her career for a decade.
You know what I like about you? You enjoy being in control.
Stone has attempted a comeback of sorts, appearing in The Disaster Artist and The Laundromat, but she has yet to recapture the magic.
Pick me up! Pick me up! Do you just... I'd like to speak to you for a minute.
Number 13, Ashley Simpson. The younger sister of Jessica Simpson made some waves in the mid-2000s with her albums Autobiography and I Am Me. Both reached number 1 on the Billboard 200, both were certified platinum, with Autobiography going 3 times platinum, and Pieces of Me proved a big hit, peaking at number 5 on the Hot 100.
When I hit that bottom crash, you're all I have.
Unfortunately, Simpson hasn't released any music as a solo artist since 2008, aside from a non-album single in 2012 that failed to chart. She's now part of a duo called Ashley and Evan with her husband Evan Ross, and they released an EP in 2018 that failed to generate much discussion.
You're asking me if I trust you. I do.
They also launched an e-reality show, but that only lasted for 6 episodes.
Basically, the solution was in front of me the whole time.
Number 12, Fergie. Like many on this list, Fergie was huge in the 2000s. She was obviously a big part of the Black Eyed Peas, but she also saw success as a solo artist with the Duchess. Released in 2006, the Duchess reached number 2 on the Billboard 200 and was certified 5 times platinum. The album also spawned 3 number 1 singles, London Bridge, Glamorous, and Big Girls Don't Cry, and 1 number 2 with Fergalicious.
Fergalicious definition, make them boys go loco.
After about a decade away, aside from a song on the Great Gatsby soundtrack, Fergie returned with Double Dutchess. It wasn't nearly as successful. It only reached number 19 and failed to generate any successful singles. The most successful, LA Love, La La, peaked at number 27. Number 11, Paris Hilton. Despite coming from an uber-successful and unfathomably rich family, Paris Hilton made a name for herself through modeling and reality TV.
Will you ever worry me like that again?
She notably starred on The Simple Life alongside Nicole Richie from 2003 to 2007. While her dumb blonde, spoiled persona was obviously played up for the camera, the show made her insanely famous. Most of that fame came at her own expense, but she clearly didn't care. And while she's still making bank through her numerous business ventures today, Hilton's public spotlight has faded. She's dabbled in DJing in recent years and went back to reality TV with Viceland's Hollywood Love Story, but that came and went. She was also the subject of a YouTube original documentary titled This Is Paris in 2020.
I like animals more than people.
Number 10, Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice became a worldwide megastar with Ice Ice Baby. The song was an enormous hit, peaking at number 1 in 8 different countries, including the United States and Zimbabwe. In fact, it made history by becoming the first hip-hop single to reach the top of the Billboard Hot 100.
Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it. Ice, ice, baby.
Ice took a break from music in 1993, but when he returned, his subsequent records received little fanfare. He did find success with his DIY network show, The Vanilla Ice Project, thanks to his experience in home improvement.
Some people got no reason.
In 2011, he released his comeback album, WTF, Wisdom, Tenacity, and Focus. It was not a success, and Vanilla Ice hasn't charted on the Hot 100 as a lead artist since Cool as Ice hit number 81 in 1991.
Only in Vegas, baby.
Number 9, Katherine Heigl. Another big 2000s star, Katherine Heigl first gained some fame in 1999 starring as Isabel Evans on the WB's Roswell. She rode this role to greater success, including her Emmy-winning performance on Grey's Anatomy and movies like Knocked Up and 27 Dresses.
No, I just don't.
That time would prove the height of her career. She's since starred in many movies, but none of them were very popular or that good. Most of Heigl's work can be found on television. The mid to late 2010s saw her star in State of Affairs, Doubt, and Suits. The first 2 were canceled after just 1 season, and her role in Suits lasted 2.
I'm upset because if you have any issue with me, you should come to me and not go around me.
Heigl is still receiving steady work, but the recent TV comeback fails to match her Grey's Anatomy heights.
There is nothing to talk about. Do you understand me? There is nothing to discuss.
Number 8, Guns N' Roses. This hard rock band was once one of the biggest in the world, with their first 4 studio albums reaching either number 1 or number 2 and selling over 5 million copies each in the United States alone.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games.
Things slowed down with 1993's The Spaghetti Incident, as it only reached number 4 and ended the band's multi-platinum run. It would be 15 years until the band returned, and the results were underwhelming. On November 23, 2008, the world finally received Chinese Democracy, which received middling reviews and sold only 1 million copies. The long-awaited comeback was completely dead in the water. Luckily, both Slash and Duff McKagan saved the band by touring with Axl & Company on the incredibly successful Not in This Lifetime tour. Number 7, Lil' Kim. This New York rapper got her start through the Notorious B.I.G. by joining his group, Junior Mafia. This led to a highly successful solo career throughout the late 90s and 2000s, which included 3 top 10 albums. 2001 also saw her singing Lady Marmalade, the highly successful single from Moulin Rouge. But like Guns N' Roses, Lil' Kim took a major hiatus. There was a 14-year break between 2005's The Naked Truth and 2019's 9, and the wait was not really worth it according to most accounts. The album received mixed reviews from critics and performed poorly, failing to land on any major charts or generate any notable singles. Number 6, Tara Reid. This American actress had quite a respectable movie career throughout the late 90s and early 2000s. She appeared as Bunny in The Big Lebowski and went on to star as Vicky in the American Pie franchise.
I've had one. I think.
Rounding out her filmography were works like Josie and the Pussycats, My Boss's Daughter, Van Wilder, and a stint on Scrubs. Something happened around 2005 and Reid just disappeared.
You know, you should always try to go to the bathroom before you leave the house, even if you don't have to.
Not completely, as she was still in things, but the hits had certainly dried up. Reid then tried her hand at reality TV, including Celebrity Big Brother and her own show Paradise, before settling on the B-movie turned cult Sharknado series. Number 5, Ellen DeGeneres. There was once a time when Ellen DeGeneres was the biggest name in entertainment. Her historic coming out as a lesbian both paved trails and ignited controversy, and her follow-up talk show proved enormously successful.
And what are you getting this?
While coming out nearly tanked her career, it was the talk show that ultimately did. In 2020, BuzzFeed reported through anonymous employees that working for Ellen was akin to hell on earth, complete with harassment and racist comments.
Just one question. Just what else does he want? I don't know what you're telling him, but just ask him what I'm saying.
Okay, sorry.
While her show wasn't canceled, the 18th season premiere faced significant backlash. Outlets criticized her opening monologue, and the YouTube video's like-to-dislike ratio skews heavily towards the latter.
The next season would ultimately be the talk show's last.
It's all love. Yeah. That's all that's real is love. That's the truth.
Number 4, Ja Rule. This rapper released a string of successful albums throughout the late 90s and early 2000s, 6 of which peaked within the top 10 on the Billboard 200. These include Rule 336 and Pain is Love, both of which reached number 1, and both of which were certified multi-platinum. However, Ja Rule has subsequently faced numerous legal issues throughout his career, including a 2-year prison sentence in 2010 and another 28-month sentence the following year.
Here I am in a bad situation 10 years later after all the things that I've done, all the success that I've had.
He was released in 2013 and just 3 years later started the infamous Fire Media Inc. It could have been a huge business and public comeback, but the Fyre Festival proved so disastrous that he faced a $100 million class action lawsuit instead.
Biggest misconception about your involvement in Fyre Festival?
Is that I committed a crime.
Number 3, Charlie Sheen. By 2010, 2.5 Men was proving so popular that Charlie Sheen was earning nearly $2 million per episode. However, his personal life wasn't nearly as triumphant. Sheen was well known for his substance abuse and reckless behavior, especially with the latter allegedly aimed towards his then-wife, Brooke Muller, and the trashing of a hotel suite.
Oh, gee, Charlie, that may not be the best idea.
I don't recall asking for your opinion.
He was eventually dismissed from 2.5 Men, and while the resulting press put him in the news, the termination effectively killed his career. Sheen attempted a comeback with roles in Scary Movie 5 and a show called Anger Management, and while the latter ran for 100 episodes, it received poor reviews. The comeback was a fail, and Sheen hasn't been seen in movies or TV since 2017.
All right, let's just put this whole damn thing behind us. May the filth be with you.
Number 2, Lindsay Lohan. There once was a time when Lindsay Lohan was a promising and ambitious actress.
So cute. I mean, A sub n equals n plus 1/4.
But her life and career hit unexpected road bumps in the mid-2000s, and Lohan went through a highly publicized downward spiral filled with bad press, substance abuse, and both rehab and prison stints. 2019's Among the Shadows proved her first feature-length movie in 6 years, although it was only released through video on demand and received little attention. She also launched her own reality show on MTV called Lindsay Lohan's Beach Club, but it was canceled after just 1 season.
And that's important. It was like a wake-up call.
Her comeback efforts are nevertheless valiant, finding some success playing Katarina West in the 2nd season of Sky One's Sick Note and headlining a few Netflix movies.
Why does that bother you?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Roseanne Barr. Few comebacks have crashed and burned like this one. Barr's sitcom Roseanne was a huge hit throughout the 90s, remaining a top 4 show for 6 of its 9 seasons.
So I've got a life too, you know. It's not like I don't have nothing to do.
I'm sorry, what do you want me to do? Throw myself up?
It came to a controversial end in 1997 with a divisive series finale. Luckily for fans, it was revived by ABC and brought back for a 10th season in 2018. It was actually a huge success, with the premiere episode generating nearly 20 million viewers.
What happened?
I thought you were dead.
It lasted all of 2 months. Barr made a racist comment on Twitter, which she proceeded to blame on Ambien. The show was immediately canceled amidst the controversy, as was Barr herself. She once again faded into irrelevancy, and everyone else moved on to the Connors without her.
I thought the bitch was white! God damn it!
Which celebrity comeback do you think could have gone better? Let us know in the comments.
Everyone who stops me every single day is so generous and happy to see me. And if there's a theme to any of our conversations, it's when are you getting back to work?